Hey team, welcome back into the Warriorholic. Great to be back here after a bye round. As you can see by my unfamiliar background, I'm here in Japan, hence not such great lighting, not such great sound, but hopefully you bear with me. I'm going to make this one a bit of a quick one this week because I've got to get back to work. It's about 11 o'clock New Zealand time and I only arrived here last night, so the brain's a bit mush, so bear with me. But I still wanted to try and get this done since it's first Teamless Tuesday for a couple of weeks. Just before I get started, quick shout out to Tohu, having surgery this week, out for the rest of the season. Man, I hope he comes back refreshed and ready to go for his final season in 2025. Anyway, let's get straight into this one. It's going to be a niggly game. It's going to be like a final. Based on my predictions, we can only afford to drop one more game out of our final run in here, and this is one I think we have to win. We all know that the Raiders love to get into a grind. We've had some bloody close matches with them over the years, so this is not going to be any different. It's going to be like a finals game, so I hope the boys are ready. I hope they're switched on, and we've got to take it to these guys because if we don't win this week, it could be pretty much done and dusted for the season. Head to head over the years, 47 games played. We've got a slightly winning edge there with 24 to us and 23 to them. A couple of wins against them last season. Aliauta's debut in Canberra last year, messing up Croker's 300th game. It was great to get that done. 36-14 and then a 21-20 Golden Point win in the back half of the season there. No SJ there this week to kick drop goal, so I bloody hope we don't get down to Golden Point again. Man, I couldn't handle that stress. Earlier on this season, we took them 18-10, and I feel like it's going to be a very similar score this week. If we look at the ladder, a little bit deceiving here because we've both had 7 wins, but we've played 17 games and they're playing 16. So they've had all of their buys. We've still got one bye to come, so effectively give us 2 more points, and we'll be sitting on 21 up ahead of them. But they're on 20 points in 11th and we're on 19 and 12th. Man, I hate the way they give these points for buys. It just makes it so bloody confusing. But in the end, whoever wins this week will be in a better position. That's all we need to know. Okay, let's get straight into the player matchups. I had a bit of go at predicting my team this morning before they came out, and I'm happy to say I got the backline right. Tane two, I'll pick you up against Kyle Wiggs. Both pretty inexperienced guys, but both lightning quick. Not the biggest fullbacks in the comp, but they both play a very similar role. 178 centimetres, 83 kgs versus 82 centimetres and 90 kgs, so Wiggs a little bit bigger. Just 9 games so far for Tane Tuol Picky total, and 4 this season versus 21 games for Weeks and 9 games this season. So both pretty early on in their careers, but I do think Tane's a little bit older. Not 100% sure on that. Tane with an average of 176 running meters, just the 1 try. 18 tackle breaks though from 4 games is a pretty good effort. 1 try assist, 2 line breaks, and a tackle efficiency of 84%. Versus 124 average running meters, 6 tries though, 30 tackle breaks, 3 try assists, 6 line breaks, and 85% tackle efficiency. So I feel like he's a bit of a revelation at fullback there, having moved in after Rapana was out for a little bit there with a knee injury, and managing to hold that position where Rapana having to go back to the wing. They've really struggled to lock down a genuine full-time fullback over the past few seasons, so maybe he's going to step up and be that guy. I feel like whoever has the biggest game at fullback this week will probably be a fair indicator as to who's going to win. So I really hope that's young Tane. A lot of guys have been looking forward to see him come in. Plenty of people asking for RTS at fullback again this week, but I'm glad to see Tane there. Let's see him get a couple of tries or set up a couple at least. I'm not 100% sure about these back matchups, to be honest. I'm just going off what's listed on the NRL website because I'm pretty sure Rapana played on the left side last week and Timoko played on the right, but I think Timoko is on the left with Rapana this week, so we shall see anyway. Dallin up against Rapana there, both very similar amount of experience over the 200 games, similar sized guys. Rapana's one of those guys who's rocks and diamonds. Some days he can just absolutely clean it up, and other days he can have an absolute mare. Whereas I feel Dallin's a little bit more consistent, doesn't have that huge sort of wave of really shit games and outstanding games, so hopefully that'll give him a bit of an edge in this matchup. 15 games for Dallin this season versus 12 at Upper. Dallin with an average 145 running meters versus 150. But 9 tries for Dallin versus just the 3 foot up on tackle breaks, 52 versus 43, not too dissimilar there. 2 try assists versus 5 try assists at up and with a slight edge there, but that's him playing at fullback. Not too many wings getting a lot of try assists. 10 line breaks for Dallin versus 8 foot up and an 81% tackle efficiency for Dallin. Great to see him back up in the 80s after being down there low in the 70s for a little bit. And 75 foot up under. So Shit, really hard to tell. Both, X Factor players who kind of pull something out of their ass to kind of switch a game up. Both relatively good in the air. But I feel like if Dallin can shut down up another, that'll have a huge impact on the mojo of the Raiders back. So, oh man, I hope he can do it. And at centre, I think this is the way they're going to line up based on the way it's listed. Ali Lautoa up against Timoko. Man, this is going to be a different prospect for Ali this week compared to playing Old Man Croker. Probably going to be one of the matchups of the round, to be honest. Just 2 games now for Ali Lautoa. Seems like he's been around for a lot longer, but been hindered by those injuries versus 78 games for Timoko, getting close to that 100 mark. Timoko with 16 so far this season versus Ali with just 1. Ali with an average 105 running meters is pretty good for a centre. 1 try, 2 tackle breaks, no try assists, 2 line breaks, and 85% tackle efficiency. So they're pretty good numbers considering it's only 1 game. What do we got there? 16 games so far for Timoko. 163 running meters is pretty bloody solid. Up there with RTS when he was playing at centre for some of the biggest running meters of a centre, actually. 3 tries, 65 tackle breaks. Man, he busted tackle that boy. 4 try assists, 4 line breaks, and 88% tackle efficiency. So, man, I'm really curious. I think this is going to be a great indicator as to whether Ali is really up for it like we all think he is. A slightly bigger body, but Timoko, man, he's got sort of strength that defies a guy his size. So, really hard to predict. Explosive, stepping, massive fend from Timoko versus Ali Lauta, who's just got like that big body. He's got explosive speed, but probably not the same level of agility. So, shit, you got to give it to Timoko though. He's just got that experience. But I really hope that Ali steps up and just shows us he can match Timoko and that he really deserves to be in there every week going forward. Because I've heard a whisper that Rocco Berry might be out for the rest of the season with this shoulder. He's still struggling to get it mobile. So this is Ali's chance to really step up and lay claim to this centre jersey. On the other side, we've got Sebastian Chris up against Adam Pompey. Great to see Pompey getting some consistent games. Both with a similar amount of experience, 91 games for Pompey versus 77, 11 games this year versus 12. Pompey with an average of 86 running meters, getting up around the 100 mark a little bit more recently though. 2 tries, 18 tackle breaks, 1 try assist, 2 line break assists, 90% tackle efficiency versus 121 running meters. So both their centres are definite meter eaters there. 2 tries, 25 tackle breaks, 3 try assists, 1 line break, and 86% tackle efficiency. I'm kind of surprised Chris doesn't have more tackle breaks. But yeah, I think Pompey can more than match him, if not slightly exceed him. He's definitely not the best centre. Adams come up in recent times, so if he can handle Crichton to a pretty solid degree, I think he should be able to. I think he should be more than capable of handling Chris. Left wing. So this was meant to happen weeks ago when RTS did his hammy, so it's finally happening. He's moving to the wing, hopefully give him a little bit more space. I'm looking forward to see him on those kick returns. 207 games for him versus just 39 for Savage. Another guy's been shifted around a bit. Wants to be a fullback, but seems to have found a bit of a home on the wing this season. 12 games for RTS this year versus 16. RTS with 168 average running meters, 3 tries, 65 tackle breaks, 4 try assists, 4 line breaks, and 88% tackle efficiency versus 133 running meters. That's not too bad. 8 tries, 41 tackle breaks, 9 line breaks. So that's pretty solid. And 2 try assists, and just 72% tackle efficiency. So we'll be targeting him out there. Not the best tackle efficiency in the world. So I'm really curious to see how this goes. I thought RTS had a huge game last week, even before he went to the wing, but I think this is a real chance for him to step up and show that this is the best position for him, giving him a lot more space, not having to worry about passing, just do his own damage, and hopefully he can do something savage on the man Savage himself. 5'8" Chanel Harris DeVita up against another big body, almost the same size as Burton. 61 games for Chanel now versus 17 for Strange, but shit, that guy plays with a level of ability beyond his experience. 11 games this season for CHT and 16 for Strange. Man, they just hit the jackpot with that young guy. I'm a real fan. Not a big Raiders fan, I've always felt they're a bit dull and sort of one-dimensional, but Strange really brings something to them with his running game. He's probably one of the top running 5'8" in the comp, in my opinion. Average is 34 running meters for CHT and just 132 kicking meters. getting up there closer to 300 recently as they split the kicking 50-50. 4 tries though, 1 try assist, 1 line break assist, and a tackle efficiency of 91, hitting really hard. What do you got? 79 average running meters for Strange. Average kicking of just 44. Man, they've got Doggedy back this week, so he won't be doing too much kicking. 2 tries, 6 try assists, 5 line break assists, and tackle efficiency of 87. So this will be a good handful for CHT, but I really like him in that 6 jersey. I'm looking for him to really cement that position with Metcalf coming back. Curious to see what the thinking is there, but he's just got to step up and do what he can. Biggest key, I think, is for those boys to nail their kicking game a lot better than they did against the Bulldogs. Then Temari Martin up against Jamal Fogarty, coming back after that pec injury. So he's pretty much coming straight back in. I'm sure he didn't play cup before he came in, so this is a chance for us to put pressure on him. I hope he'll be a little bit out of form, but man, one of the best kickers in the comp these days when it comes to sevens. 90 games now for Temari Martin, getting close to 100 versus 87, so pretty much a similar amount of experience. 13 games this season for Temari versus just the 7 with Fogarty after doing that pec injury. Temari, 75 average running meters, just 166 average kicking meters, but that was really impacted by when he was playing with SJ. I'd say over the past few weeks, he'll probably be up around the 300 mark. 4 tries, 11 line break assists, 12 try assists. Man, try assist pretty much won a game is a real good average in the NRL right now. And a tackle efficiency of 87 versus 47 average running meters, 580 kicking meters, just behind what SJ does at his peak. No tries, 3 line break assists, no try assists, and 87%. So he's just a real general. Doesn't do a huge amount of ball playing, hence the lack of try assists. But like I said, he's got an outstanding kicking game, that massive high bomb, very long kick, very similar to Burton's, but a really good short kicking game as well. So watch for him to get a lot of repeat sets of 6. Cool, a good challenge for Temari Martin this week. I really hope he can step up and win this, because again, that will be one of the key indicators on if we can actually win this game. But yeah, I think this game's going to be really, it's going to be settled in the front row and in the middle. Huge battle here. AFB up against Josh Papalii. Josh Papalii's struggled a little bit against us over the past couple of years, coming towards the end of his career, but shit, 3 games away from 300 is an excellent effort for a prop. Huge man, just about as big as AFB. 16 games this year for AFB, 15 for Papalii, so still very bloody robust for a guy his age, doesn't get a huge amount of injuries. AFB with 173 average running meters, 72 post-contact meters per game, 6 tries, 59 tackle breaks, 13 offloads, and a tackle efficiency of 96 versus just an average of 110 from Papalii, but he's playing a lot less minutes. 46 average post-contact meters, so both sort of around the 50% of the meters coming post-contact. 1 try, 24 tackle breaks, 11 offloads, and 97% tackle efficiency. Man, AFB, my brother, this is a chance for you to have like the best game of your season, absolutely dominate these boys in the middle. I think that's the only way we're going to beat them. We've just got to win that middle and absolutely take guys like Papalii and Tapine out of the game. Hope you can do it. Look at Wade Egan up against Tom Starling. Wade Egan with 123 games now, 100 for Tom Starling, so both with similar amounts of experience, but Starling playing a lot more of his time off the bench. 14 games this year for Egan versus 15 for Starling. Egan with an average running of 52 metres. No tries though this year. A couple of people have called me out on that, but he definitely hasn't got any tries yet. 4 try assists, 7 line break assists, 5 offloads, 37 average tackles per game at 92%. Just 26 average running meters for Starling. No tries, no try assists, no line break assists, 4 offloads, 21 average tackles per game, but he's played a lot off the bench, hence the lower number there at 95% tackle efficiency. He's just one of those guys who just, he's underrated, just keeps going, does his work, allows his backs to be creative, just industrious hooker, whereas we really rely on Egan to sort of be the centre of a lot of our attack and get our momentum going. So I feel like Egan's got to have a huge game this week, step up, dominate the ruck, get our guys on the front foot and be hitting them on the chest with that ball, not above their head or over their shoulder, behind their shoulders or whatever. That's going to be really key for me. At this stage, Mitch Barnett named it prop going up against Joe Tapine, but I really think that comes down to how many minutes Barnett ends up playing tomorrow night in Origin. Should I hope he can actually, get out there this week. If he ends up playing something like 40 or 50 minutes due to injury or whatever, not too sure whether he will back up, but I rate him as one of those guys who probably can get out there and at least play a half for us. 159 games versus 205 for Tapine. Man, just doesn't feel like he's been around that much longer than Mitch. 16 games apiece so far this season. 153 average running meters for Mitch, but he's been up around 180 mark recently. Averaging 66 post-contact meters, 2 tries, 35 tackle breaks, 21 offloads, 94% tackle efficiency, 174 average running meters, and 71 post-contact average for Tapine. No tries, 26 tackle breaks, 16 offloads, and 94% tackle efficiency. So Tapine's got one of the biggest running games of any of the props we've come up against this season, so it's going to be a real challenge to control him. Surprising he doesn't have that many tackle breaks considering how many post-contact meters he makes, but he's definitely got that offload in him. Sort of surprises me that Mitch has actually got more than him, to be honest. So not sure if this will be the matchup. I rate Mitch to more than match him if he is playing, but if not and Bunty comes in, that's going to be a real challenge for Bunty to tie up this big fella in Tapine. Marata caught up against Hudson Young. 122 games now for Marata, 7 games so far this season. 111 games for Young, so similar amount of experience in 14 games this season. 76 average running meters for Marata near quarter. Man, I feel like that should be up a little bit higher the amount of time he's taken the ball. 1 try, 1 line break, 1 offload, 21 average tackles at 93%. So it's often, you've got to be careful with these stats. It doesn't look like he's doing a lot, but he has a massive impact on the game, our boy Marata. 115 average running meters is pretty good for an edge-back rower. 7 tries, that's very good. 7 line breaks too. 10 offloads, 31 average tackles at 89%. So he's definitely someone who's key to their attack. Like I said, one of the most running meters, most line breaks, a lot of tries for an edge. Not a lot to him, 1.82 m and 98 kg. Similar size to Dylan Walker, but man, he's explosive. But totally rate Marata to be able to more than match him. Very hard to pick out of these two. And yet again, Kurt Capewell named whether he plays or not. He's going to be starting, and I honestly expect him to play 80 minutes tomorrow night in Origin, so I'm really not sure whether he will actually back up, but for now he's listed up against Elliot Whitehead, almost at the 200 mark there with 198 games. 150 games up for Capewell against the Bulldogs the other day, so hopefully we can get a win for him, even though he didn't do it on his actual 150th. 11 games this season for Capewell, 68 average running meters. There's another one. Those stats don't really show how much he gets done. No tries, 2 line breaks, just 5 offloads, but 31 average tackles per game at 92%. 9 games for Whitehead. He's had a few injuries this year. 75 average running meters, 4 tries, 3 line breaks, 6 offloads, 31 tackles at 91%. So stats-wise are very similar. Couple more tries though to Whitehead. Both very industrious workhorses, just never stop charging around. Whitehead in his final season, off back to the Super League next year. I think he's going to Catalan. So yeah, again, does Capewell play? If he does, I think, and he's fresh enough, I think he can more than match him. But off the back of Origin, I don't know if he'll be playing more than about 40 minutes. So I'd be curious to see how we deal with Whitehead. Dylan Walker cemented that spot for the rest of the year. Surprising, actually, he's played almost as many games as Tohu, but Tohu seems a lot older. 12 games so far this season for Dylan Walker. Just 16 games this year and 16 games total for Smithies. Man, he's another 13 similar to the guy. I can't remember the young fella's name who plays for the Bulldogs. Just never stops. Really industrious. Not a huge guy at 1.85 m, but 106. He's a bit heavier than Walker. But just, again, like he's just an absolute workhorse. Classic Raiders middle. Reminds me a little bit of a young Bradley Clyde. Not on his level, but just the way he plays. Dylan Walker, like I said, 12 games this season. Average 132 running meters is pretty good. And 40 meters post-contact, considering he's been playing off the bench a lot. 1 try, 4 offloads, 27 average tackles per game at 93%. 90 average running meters, an average of 32 post-contact, no tries, 3 offloads, but 37 tackles per game. Dylan Walker playing off the bench, hence there's a little bit of a gap there. And 97% tackle efficiency. So, man, they've got some high tackling efficiency in their middles. It'll be hard to break them, but I like Dylan Walker's speed there. Hopefully his legs are feeling pretty good after a bit of a break over the bye. too hard to call this one as well. Young versus the old experienced Fox. I really do think Walker will step up and sort of embrace the responsibility of taking Tohu's spot here, so we shall see. And finally, the benches. This is how it's listed for the Warriors, but I highly anticipate at least one of those Origin boys to drop out, and probably Tamale to come in, or maybe Bunty. That's who I was picking if those two boys didn't play. Who we got there? Freddie Lussick, Jackson Ford, Jazz Tavanga, and Leka Halasima getting his second chance in a row here. Looking for him to really sort of step up and show that it wasn't a one-hit wonder, that he's the man going forward and cement that bench spot for the edge back rows over the rest of the season. And for them, Zach Hoskins, Ata Mariota, Trey Mooney, and Danny Levi. So they've got an edge back rower, a lock, a prop, and a hooker. So very similar kind of balance as far as the the positions they cover there. Similar experience, a couple of really experienced guys in Jazz and Levi, but the other guys sort of not hugely experienced. Not the biggest bench that you'd normally see from the Raiders, so they're starting to go for that lighter, quicker across the ground, younger bench, rather than having 3 or 4 props on their bench like they have done in the past. Shit. I do really like Mariota and Mooney. Danny Levi's been struggling a little bit. He's quick, but he's got a mistake in him. Hoskins has got a lot of upside in him as well. A lot of people think he should be starting over Whitehead, but Whitehead being the captain. But I love our bench. Leka, man, excited to see him. Jazz always brings energy. Jackson Ford, another energy man. Expect him to play some big minutes for those Origin boys, both in the middle and maybe on an edge. Freddie Lussick getting another chance to sort of cement himself as that backup hooker, with Paul Roach should be back in the mix over the next couple of weeks as well. So I'm going to give our bench that slight edge just purely because my man Jazz and the young excitement machine Leka are in there. So overall, shit, 50-50. I have no friggin' idea, guys. If we step up, I think we can win. But if we're slightly off our game, those guys can grind us down. They haven't had the best winning record at home this season, so they're more than beatable as far as the location goes. But shit, we're just going to have to be switched on, and we just can't let it get to golden point. We really can't. It's going to be a battle to contain Doherty's long kicking game with ours. We're going to have to, hopefully, we've done a lot of work with Temari Martin and Chanel Harris-Davida's kicking game over the break. SJ putting a bit of time with them, I hope. But yeah, I think it all really comes down to the middle. Tapine and Papalii up against Mitch, Barnett, and Adam Fanor-Blake. Whoever wins that battle can really set the stage for this. I hope we get it done. We really need these 2 points. Then we can get on with a bit of momentum. What do you guys reckon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Up the mighty New Zealand Warriors and go the mighty Blues. Hopefully they can finally win a bloody series up there in Brisbane. Let's go.